Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy TNF1 Banana Josh, and welcome back to AOR Hype Energy Oceania F2. No, not an F2.
Checks
An
complete.
F1.
All personnel be aware, we have a car
Today
leaving.
is the F1 race for the AOR Hype Energy Oceania F2, and we're doing the short calendar of this one. If you don't know what it was, I'll show you right now. As you can probably know, there's 10 rounds, and there's probably something that I might be like the most, and some of them I don't like the most, which is definitely, well, the ones I just like was the Belgian Grand Prix, because that one is phenomenal for me, that one. So as you see here, in qualifying, well, we're going to be starting on the soft compound tyres. So, well, right now, this is F1 2018, this is the super softs, because when it comes to the next game, that's going to be the soft tyres, this one. So, turn 3, pretty smooth, that one. Turn 4, a little bit smooth. And then, at turn 5, I'm running a little bit wide, that one. That cost my lap time, which is not absolutely the way I wanted. Past the back end, this one, at the exit of turn 6. We'll still keep running on the super softs. The Plefs is right in front of me, so I don't want to give him a collision. This one, he moved out of the way, so I had to give him a thank you this one now for letting me through that one. So that's fine. That one. That turn, the fast chicane. This one, the fast left-right chicane, and nothing helps me this one now. Brake here this one now at the third DRS zone. That one. And I can tell you right now, this is not the fastest one. So I'm going to show you the qualifying, so I just set for the lap around the Australian Grand Prix, so not to enjoy this one. So as you can see here, Darren got the fastest with a 1 minute 19.616. I set a lap time at a 1 minute 22.043, which is not very good, because it's like I need to get more improvement for this one if I don't want to be outside the top 10. So that's probably the worst things I could possibly do for this one. As you can see here, my teammate Azza is out in qualifying, not race but qualifying. And he was on the soft tyres. I had to give props to him this one. And if you don't know about Azza this one, I battled with him a few times already in F2 last season. This one, if you haven't checked already, go check it out right now. I'll put the icon there on both of the videos where I just battled with Azza, so pretty good for this one. But right now, we're going to the second run, but we're going to the ultra soft tyres. Now, a lot of people say this one now, it's the Australian Grand Prix, is there no place to overtake this one? I can tell you right now, yes it was. There's no place that you can overtake someone around the inside or outside, any place this one now, unless there was a straight line speed this one now, or the exit of the DRS line, remaining. Overtake someone with that one. Maybe that will help that one. So as you can see here, the first sector, pretty big good for this one. We're 2/10 up against my personal best this one. Sherman is not, it's not underneath this one. He's on his outlap, so he just let me through this one. So I had to give props to him for that one. And then the chicanes already, I had to go 4th gear for this one, because that will improve me a lot more with that one in qualifying this one. So if I go to 3rd gear, not a place that you go for this one, you will lose some times already. So if you go 4th gear, you're probably the place that you wanted that one. Then we're up by 5/10 already on point of views already, so not the greatest ones, but I'll take it now. As you can see here, we're up by 6/10, dropped down to 5/10, now up to 6/10, because we've done some good job already for someone. Heading over to the final corner, open up the DRS, we're 7/10 up. And this is probably the fastest I could possibly get this one, a 1 minute 21.213, I think it might be. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I was in the pits. Is it this one? Yep, it is. 1 minute 21.213, and that was the fastest I could possibly get that one. Now we're going to head over to the final run for this one. And I was going to do this like the cool way for this one, where when Lewis Hamilton just like started off this one, there's a slow this one, and then go fast that one. I could probably do that one. So off we go for this one for the final run, that one. And With the last now, this is probably it. I could possibly get a top 5 pole, like qualifying position for this one. Might be qualifying inside the top 5. Maybe there would be for this one now, but instead we ran too hot on the 3rd turn, and that's our qualifying run done and dusted. So we have no improvements. All we're stuck with so now is starting in 8th place, just behind Sir LJB, but ahead is Sherma in the Ferrari. But as you probably know this one now, F1 Amazing and Contrast both starting on the Super Sauce, and plus Sherma, they're starting on the Super Sauce, but the rest of them, except the Super Soft drivers, will have to try to start on the Ultra Softs. So let's head over to the race.
Hello and welcome from Albert Park, Australia for today's race. And I think it's shaping up to be a classic. So here we are at Albert Park Circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy surface with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake with the best passing opportunities coming at turn 1 and turn 3.
And now let's have a look at the starter grid for today's race, and it's Darren and Pete walking down the Mercedes front row, and they were Alfa Romeo Sauber, but they're not. Row 2 for this one is Claire for this one. Done a pretty good job with Renault. And speaking of Sauber, here comes Dynamite. Row 3 for this one is Dynamite's teammate F1 Amazing Hour, and then joining alongside him is a Ferrari of iContrast F1. Row 4 has done a pretty good job this one. Now with Sir LJB in the Haas debut for this one, and it's TNF1 Bernard Josh, who's done a pretty good job in F2. Chairman was not too bad for this one now, starting in 9th place, and speaking of F2, it's Infinite March, starting in 10th place. Next one alongside him is a Harry Tomato, who was not very happy with that qualifying one, and joining alongside him is the reserve driver of Badass 83. El Tonti, for the first time ever, he will be starting in 13th place, and around on the grid is Azar. Thank you, weather reporter. No, you ain't weather reporter. You're the greeting guy, whatever that was already. So, anyway, here we are on the starting grid for that one, and we're starting on the ultra soft tires all the way to the soft tires one. Now, a lot of people just said it was like, this might be the one-stop array. It's just like starting on the ultras. Maybe you should go for the supers array. I should have done that before for that one. So apologies for that one now. So I'm sorry for this one. And we also have Curly Willy as a commentary for this one. So I may gonna be showing that when something just happens already. I may gonna be like showing the replays array of the live com for that one. So. Anyway, formation lap rate behind Sir LJB. He was starting on the ultra soft tires, and he's doing pretty well.
Radar is clear.
With
Weather
the
is looking good for now.
F1 team. Now, if you recognise from last season for the AOR Oceania F2 for this one, we were in the Haas, right, and we're 3rd in the constructor standings because myself and Todstar both done a pretty good job this one. I never even won the Grand Prix, but Todstar did. And that was a good job for him this one now. So we're still on the formation lap, and we're going to head over to grid for this one. But it's time for the Australian Grand Prix here in Melbourne. But also we're going to be heading over to the grid for that one now, and we're going to about to build to the 5 red lights for the Australian Grand Prix. The AOR High Guarantee Oceania F1, and a side sound on the way we go. And it looks like we have a bit of a decent start that one. And Sir LJB is going to block me off that one now. And there's 4 wide in front of us that one now. And we make contact with Sir LJB. What's the back in the turn 2 that one now. And look at the car as well. Oh no, there's a Renault drive Plebs. What happened to him? Oh no, there's the car that's here that one. Oh no. Double disaster for Plebs that one. He was running so well. What happened to him?
And it is lights out and away we go in Australia. Looks like a very good start for Plebs in third place in the Renault. He's going to try and get involved with the two Mercedes up front, but they hold station. Darren leads through turn one from his teammate, and we had a bit of contact further back. It looks like Infinite March has dropped a number of positions as Plebs is coming under a huge amount of pressure from Dynamite. And actually there's been contact there, and Plebs is off around in the wall. Surely a lot of yellow flags waving there. There are. He's going to, oh, he's actually reset to track. Fortunately, he ghosted. Not quite sure that was the best move, but Plebs has lost a whole heap of front wing.
So, what do you just realised already? There was a contact between Dynamite and Plebs. So, that was the reason for this one. When I checked the live stream for this one, so when I checked the live stream, I don't know what just happened because Curly Willy was living in the UK, so tough to explain for this one, but when it comes to this one, there are some complete lag issues from Dynamite's point of view, and also Plebs' point of views. Nothing just happens, but I think on Plebs' point of view, there were some collisions. On Dynamite's point of view, there was no collisions this one, so there must be a complete lag, and further on this one now, there's no further actions already according to the stewards, so very tough explainment to say this one now, but anyway, it's just a racing incident, that one, between Plebs and Dynamite that one. So we continue racing that one. We're catching up to Eye Contrast F1. He's got his game attack on. His game attack was pure Eye Contrast, so right now it's Eye Contrast F1. Well, many people will say it was Contrast, so Contrast, nice game attack already, but should prefer Eye Contrast as your YouTube channel, like Thermomonic. Kept that as a Thermomonic. So anyway, as you can see here on lap 3 at the exit of the DRS zone, we completely run wide, and we're catching up to the Alfa Romeo Saubers, as you can probably tell, that one. And El Tonkin on El Tonki, it sounds like Donkey, that one. Donkey. This comes from Shrek, that one. If you want to watch Shrek, that one, go ahead and watch that one. But anyway, we're focusing on Eye Contrast, and of course, I had to focus in on behind me, that is Cherma, and of course Sir LJB, because he's behind a Ferrari driver. And we're closing into that Ferrari driver, speaking of that. It's just a problem for this one now. He's on the Super Sauce, I'm on the Ultras, so that's the difference already. And so I really need to drink this one, so let me just take this. Alright. That's much better. I'll put that in the video. I'm sorry about that, guys. Anyway, oh, luckily to have that one now. Anyway, at turn 5, it just ran wide with that one. I don't know what on earth am I doing with that one. Across the line, lap 6, we're slowing. We're slower than Eye Contrast and Cherma. So, a gap is 8/10 between Cherma and myself. I completely ran wide because the Ultra Softs are not particularly fast. I could possibly go for this one. I should have go for the Super Softs. Maybe that will help. And right now, Cherma is on the outside. This one into the fast left right chicane and taking us out.
Behind is 3.7 seconds.
Can you drive? Can you just like back off this one now? So I just realized already this one. I don't know what was the reason for this one. He didn't show me your point of view, but I just had to show him on my point of view how that happened, that one. And I had to explain why you should have to do it, because there's no place that you can overtake or go side by side with someone. You can basically get taken out, especially if like the AI, that one. They went side by side this one, but the one person already has to back out that one. And the one person already for this one has to be Cherma, that one. As you can see here, I cut the corner trying to give him enough space. He gives him enough space, so as you know this one, I went right and Cherma went left. And there's nothing that we can blame. I thought it was said it was like it was Cherma's fault, so I thought it was like that, but for the reason for this one now, I don't know who to blame for that one, but I was going to say that it was a racing incident, and to be clarified for this one, the stewards just said it was no further action, so just to be clarified, it is a racing incident between myself and Sherma at the Australian Grand Prix, so it's great job, that one. So right now on lap 7, we're closing in on Sherma, side by side into turn 3. There's no place that you can overtake, or maybe there will be, that one. And turn 4, trying to go for the switchback, but there's no chance for me, that one. Into turn 5, that one. And Sherma remains P9, that one. I'm in P10, that's because he made me spun out this one. He should have backed off this one, so I don't know why the reason for that one. So anyway, soon after that one now, Sherma was trying to play more aggressive, that one. We're trying to play more aggressive with Sherma for this one, even though the Ultra Softs might be the faster tire for this one, but they'll wear you out for that one. Try to dive it down the inside, but there's no chance for this one now. He has a good traction for that one. We had nothing. We had nothing for that one. And there's us like, like a piece of torpedo, like Danny Kvyat, who tried to torture everyone else. That's the thing about it now. Anyway, there's a lap car badass already. He just basically came into the pit and lapped down that one. So that's strange. Plus, I think it was Harry Tomato who just came into the pits. I think it might be that one. Correct me if I'm wrong. If that is Harry Tomato, I'm guaranteed for this one now. So, lap 8, yeah, that's my first corner cut penalty.
For
my
that
first corner
last
cut
incident.
penalty. Actually, for this one now, I have 2 corner cut penalties, so bury me that one. So I have nothing else to do for this one now. So all in all, that one, I'm basically one of the unluckiest driver I could possibly do in AOR for that one, and possibly like league racing for this one. I haven't even have a chance to win the Grand Prix, but I may have a chance to score some points at the Australian Grand Prix.
Keep an eye on your
If not,
distance to
then
the speed limit line as you
0 points
approach,
this one.
and make sure
As
you
you can
don't
see
speed.
here, this one, as you can look at the arrow, that is Badass. Badass wants to unlap himself, which basically you can unlap yourself, but it's a tricky to like which corner you want to go for, especially if you're Esteban Ocon. You don't want to take out the leader of that one, like Max Verstappen at the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is not the way you wanted for this one. So anyway, at the end of the lap 9 that one now, we had to come into the pits, our first and only stop, and stop go penalty. that's because I was feeling anger of that one, because I was had enough of Sherma of that one, because I was feeling a lot more
Complete,
anger,
go now.
and now I'm getting a punishment by getting a stop go penalty for a bad reason. That one.
That was our
Anyway,
last stop.
we're on to the
No more
soft
scheduled
tires.
pit
This one,
stops.
it's the only thing we can go to the end already, and we're outside the top 10. A Badass was completely lapped down, and now he's
It is
in, and he's
6.9
1 minute and 26
They're on
seconds
old
as the
super
gap.
softs. Their
There's no way
tyres
you
are
can
9 laps old.
get into
The
the
time
points
last lap was a
if you're a reserve driver. Oh, we
1:24.9.
lost the back end that one on lap 11. That one, that was really close. We're trying to smash our personal best, but it wasn't enough, that one. And then lap 12, he slowed down because he has some problem on his car. Well, like a front wing damage or something like that one. And then on lap 21, we're P8 that one now. We just had to skip forward this one because there's nothing we can do for that one. And Plevs, on the other hand, is right behind me. Because you probably know this one, myself and Plevs race each other before on the Trans Sessions Formula 1. Not just that one, we completely run wide and give Plevs the position that he wanted. That is P8. How was that even a possible for that one? Because even though I got a stop-go penalty, and plus a time penalty for that one for doing corner cutting for that one. And then the end of the lap 21,
is available on the
22, we got ourselves a front wing
Copy
damage.
that.
And Jeff told me to come into the pits. I was about to tell him to shut up, but I have to concentrate on my driving skills, so I don't want to do that one. So we just had to let Sherma through that one because we don't have to worry for this one now. But at this time, we're getting no points, so all we had to do for this one is try to set the fastest lap of the race this one. If we want to, that one, we had to come into the pits right now and go to the Ultras to try to set the fastest lap of the race. Because even though that one, if you had a front wing damage and you were like 9 laps down on the last on the last 9 laps already. You can go onto the ultras, try to set the fastest lap already. I know there's something has set the fastest lap, including DRC Jared, that one, who got the fastest lap on the Xbox League, which I didn't see that on the live stream, but I just saw that on the results.
Release.
And on the greatest ones already for this one, this is probably one I noticed already. I had to show you the full fastest laps I could possibly show you that one. So this is actually the fastest lap. If any of you guys would have said it was like, I'm seeing that lap, what X-Manager just said already on the F1 YouTube Championship, so bear with me for this one. I'm going to show you the whole lap, how I just set the fastest lap of the race. So bear with me for that one. So the first corner, I just smooth it out for that one, but the final corner I just did already on lap 24 was not very good for that one. I just lost the back end for that one, so that was the reason for that one. Turn 3 and 4, pretty bit smooth that one. Now turn 5, a bit smooth that one, so bit smooth, and now we're up by 7/10 of the purple first sector. It's because we're on the ultra soft tires, and we're outside the points. Plus the McLaren is outside the points, P11 and P12. There's no points that we can go for that one. Imagine if there's a Force India there. That would be the good one, that one. So there's no Force India in the F1 2019. It's just the racing points. Sponsoring with Lawrence Stroll. And we're 1.2 seconds up on my personal best. And purple in the second sector. So we might be going the fastest lap of the race, that one. And you'll probably know this one. I might show you the fastest lap, because the reason for that one is because you can go onto the ultras unless if you had a front wing damage. By the last 9 laps, you could possibly do the fastest lap of the race, and this is the result.
Don't worry if the car behind tries to overtake you. He has a
1
time
minute
penalty.
and 22.921
car in front is
was the fastest lap I could possibly get. DRC Jared was probably the fastest one. This one, he got a 1 minute 22.4, so that's faster already than my fastest lap. So I'm like 1/10 off against DRC Jared. So I had to give a shout out to him, because he done a pretty good job. Got the fastest lap of the race, but didn't even win the race. But anyway, it's the race of the race. So what I have to do for this one now, I had to do this one. So onto lap 27, but coming to lap 28, we're on to the final lap. Even though we got lapped down for this one, I'm trying to pass Azar, my teammate, my new teammate. You probably know him from F2, that one.
They're on old softs.
In our Oceania F2, for this one. We raced each other a lot, that one, and now we're back at it again, and come to the final time, that one. F1 Amazing Hour wins his first race over the 2 Mercedes, and that's me. Got lapped down and finishing 12th. Well, cough for me for this one. Just get demoted to P12 for this one due to the penalty for the corner cut. So anyway, it doesn't even matter because we're outside the points. There's nothing we can improve that one. So it's just P12 and P11 for McLaren, and unlucky there for that one. So anyway, that is the Australian Grand Prix, and here's the results already. F1 Amazing Hour wins this race with Alfa Romeo Sauber for this one. Next one is the 2 Mercedes, second and third, but it's Pete finishing ahead of Darren for that one. That is on contrast. Dynamite, Sir LGB, Harry Tomato, Plebs, Cherima, and Infinite March rounds up the top 10. Now, as you can see here for this one, I may have to show you the championship results this one, because they haven't even put it up yet on the website for this one. So I may show you on my championship screens this one. So as you can probably know for this one, the championships stay the same as already, but the constructors are pretty much different already. It's because with the Mercedes 2, 3 for that one, they didn't get a lead for that one, but they were behind 2 points with Alfa Romeo Sauber, because Dynamite finishing P5 and Amazing Hour finishing P1. So let's head over to the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Cars are ready, the drivers are ready. We hope you're ready as qualifying is about to begin here in Bahrain.
So here we are at the Bahrain Grand Prix for the AOR Hype Energy Oceania F1 tier. And we're doing the normal way for this one.
Okay,
It's just a
let's
dry
update the
race
setup.
ready for, well, for both
All
qualifying
personnel be
and
aware,
race. For
car
that one.
leaving.
So hopefully this is going to do a pretty good job as well. We're going to be starting on the medium tyres in qualifying, so pretty good job to see that one now. And I can tell you right now for this one, as you can see here on my first round video for this one, I just had to show you the whole qualifying lap, how I just did for this one, and I had to show you what I just did for this one. So here we are for my first run. Just lost the back end at the final corner for that one, but we did get a good chance already for this one. Open up DRS already, and we're going to start off first qualifying lap for that one. And this might be one of the amazing laps already. And speaking of that, it's not an amazing lap. We just ran a bit wide, and we just lost the back end and cut the corner. They gave me a validated lap time, so I just have to go with lean mix and the low ERS mode, and then we're gonna have to go another lap that one on those medium tires. And we're just doing a pretty good job. We just got a good run on the final corner.
We've only got 2
Contrast
laps
up
of fuel
the
left.
fastest lap rate on the medium tires. Brake here to first corner, go to second gear for this one, and we're up by 2/10. So not the greatest one for this one. Did lose the back end at the egg tree of turn 2. Well, the exit of turn 2 for this one, and it's a yellow flag for this one at turn 4. At the exit of turn 4 for this one. It's pretty tricky for that one. And here we are for this one, and another chicane for this one. Turn 5, turn 6, turn 7, and then brake it into turn 8. So this is pretty insane for this one. We're up by 8/10 already, because even though we're low for this one, turn 9, and brake into turn 10 for that one. Because you have to brake at the end, at the apex of turn 9 before. If you didn't hit the apex and you brake a bit late, you will lock up and run a bit wide, which I will show you very, very soon for so now. We're up by 1.6 tenths of a second, 1.8 seconds, I was going to say first one, 1.8, and we did get a good run on the corner that I don't even realise what the pronounce was, but anyway, here for the final corner of that one. We mounted the curb for that one, and we're up by 2.1, and across the line it's a 1 minute 29 flat, and that's not the amazing that I wanted for that one. So I was just thinking I was need to do something amazing for that one on those medium tires, so I can hopefully got to be starting inside the top 10 for that one. But it turns out on the laps, everyone has set it on the super softs, not even on like the softs or the medium tires already. Like myself and an amazing AOR who just set it on the medium tires. Pete was the one who set the fastest lap on the super softs, so great job for him. So I'm coming out of the pits to stick with the soft tires, mediums. I just kept thinking that I was already that one, but no, it's not. But anyway, we're going to the medium tires. This one, we're just sticking on the medium tires, not the soft tires. Anyway, brake into turn 1. We just done it perfectly for that one. Did lose a bit of a turn 2, but it's fine for that one. We just did get a good run, but not even now because we just lost the back end for this one. And as you can tell for this one now, got put 2 wheels off the circuit and 2 wheels on the circuit. As you can tell from that one, I just learned what I just did for this one. If you put 2 wheels off the track, you will get a good apex this one. As you can see here, we're up by 3/10
2
that
laps
one,
of fuel remaining.
and we're down by 2/10 because we just didn't get a good run for this one. Then you have to brake on the apex at turn 9, which is the way you want it that one if you don't want to get run yourself wide, or just basically just lock up and just force yourself wide for that one. Now I just did here for this one now I had to do it again, and it's braking it onto the curb line for that one, and trying to get through, and we're up by 3/10 for that one, and this is by far the fastest lap that one that I can possibly do on those medium tires, and we're down by 2/10, so not even the great ones, but I should have just done better with that one, except for that part already. I just mount the curb again, running it a bit wide on the exit and the final corner. We didn't get a good run for that one, but it's a 1 minute 28.8, and it's not the fastest one, so we had to go to the softs, almost like the supers, but I had to go to the soft tires just to go for the final run, Fat One. And we're trying to go for this one. So here we go, this is the final run of the season, or the final run of the section. And we're running at a bit of a time, Fat One. And we're up by 7,000, Fat One.
Just 30 seconds
and we're going to
left
break
in the
into
session.
turn 1, Fat One. Hopefully we can try, Fat One. But unfortunately, I've lost momentum, Fat One, and there goes my lap, Fat One. Because at it all, Fat One, it's not the greatest one. Starting P12, just boxing off the Force India sandwich, Fat One. And again, a Mercedes locked down the front row, but Pete just started on pole, then Darren. And F1 Amazing Hour has done a brilliant lap time on those soft tires. But we're not going to waste any time for this one now, but we're going to head over to the starting grid for the first time ever.
Welcome to Sakir at the Bahrain International Circuit, where the grid is forming up and is ready for today's Grand Prix. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today, with 15 corners and 2 DRS zones into turns 1 and turn 11. That should create some good passing opportunities. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10.
It is a tricky zone at turn 10 for some, but let's take a look at the starting grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and it's the all Mercedes locking down the front row, but it's the opposite side. But Pete starts on pole ahead of Darren on the Super Softs. Next one is a row 2 for this one, is F1 Amazing Hour. We got a stunning lap this one on the softs. BD Night contrast F1 by a margin foul. Row 3 for this one is Plebs. He did not go well for this one after the 1 lap accident with Dynamite for this one, which firstly, no one was burning for this one. And his pure gold will be starting in a solid P6. Then his Badass already was starting in 7th place. And Zeb, who makes his a fantastic debut for this one to start on 8th place. Next one is Crossy F1, who makes it to move to Williams this one for the first time ever. Then Infinite March, make it again into the top 10 of this one. Next one is the reserve driver of Smoke Grass, that one. He just started in P11. And TNF1 Banana Josh, who did not get a good lap, that one. He just started in P12. Next one alongside it is Daz, this one. He did not get a good lap, that one. And alongside it is El Tonki, that one, who just started in 14th place. And that is the starting grid of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Thanks, grid guy, for that one. Now we're going to head over to the grid already, for that one. It's because we need to think of the strategy for that one. So there's 2 options that I should probably go for in my head for this one just before I'm going to switch it to the medium tires already. Is there like I could just go to the soft tires if I want to and end it to the mediums already, or just sacrifice myself already and start it on the medium tires all the way to the soft tires. Now I thought to myself, I was like, wow, I'm gonna go with the sacrifice way for that one. So I'm starting on the medium tires all the way to the soft tires already. Just go to the slowest to the fastest tires I could possibly go for, so, but not the super softs, because super softs won't last long, fat one, as we could possibly do for this one. Now, as you can notice already, fat one, Smoke Grass is alongside me on row 6, and by the way, he's not a full-time driver of this one, but he is a reserve driver. Myself, contrast, the rest of the guys already are full-time racing in AOR, Hyper Energy, Oceania F1 for this one. Well, maybe some of those are fat one. But some of those can, that one, just like, if they made it already, or not. But anyway, we're going to head over to the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix and build to the 5 red lights. Hold on your clusters, rev up your cars, and it's lights out. And away we go. Got through a bit of an okay start, that one, and Daz on my outside for this one. He was trying to go for a good start, but he got slowed the car down for that one. Break here for that one now. But some of them just went off track. There was a full wide action for this one between Crossy, Infinite March, and Smoke Grass. That one, I think it might be that one. We're trying to go. They were side by side with Smoke and Infinite March rocking the back of the bigger brother of that one, Zeb, or the Red Bull driver, Zeb, and Cross. No, not Cross. Smoke has just passed us that one, and speaking of Smoke, he just lost the back end by hitting the curbs. that was the reason how he just done it, and he just lost not once but twice. Not only for that, but he also lose to the Force India driver Das. It's because Smoke is in the Force India. Don't get me wrong, that one now. And we have succeeded lap 1 very cleanly. We haven't even like damaged our front wing or something else. If you go back to Australian Grand Prix from this one, just pause the video there and watch the first lap already. This one, it was so dramatic, this one, how that happened already. When Plevs just like had just got hit by Dynamite already, and constantly for this one, that is not Dynamite's fault, and that is not Plev's fault. No one was lost to blame for this one. As you can see here, Zeb has just running it a bit wide at turn 10. That's because it's a bit of a tricky corner that you can possibly do for someone. Like I've done the right thing for someone, and now we're battling with the, well, we're just battling with the F2 driver for itself for someone, where we're just racing in F2 last season for someone. If you want to check it out, go check it out right now, or I'll put the plate, I'll just put the icon on the top right where we're just racing at this one now. But we got some slipstream, we use overtake mode and a rich fuel mix. DRS has been enabled, but it hasn't been activated on mine. Family, dive it down the inside to turn 1, and that is us up into P9 for that one, and catching up to cross the F1. And Zeb, on the other hand, he just lost control with his car. His car has lost control with that one. And now, speaking of those, the two Williams are battling with other drivers already, and we're not even like fast enough already. We're just average of P9, P10 or something this one, or maybe just P10 itself that one, and just try that as well. So as you can notice already this one, that was the Williams driver of pure gold. He is battling with Badass that one. He's supposed to be in the Force India, not Renault. I just thought that one, but he was not. He's not a Renault driver. He's a Force India driver, like Smoke Grass already. He just used the Force India. No one was going to take that. And Crossy was trying to pass it, and we're just nearly lost control of our car. So
the gap behind us
pretty much the same that one. And Crossy needs to pass Badass, otherwise Badass will defend the position with the super soft tires. As you probably noticed one on my tires, we're starting on the mediums. If you haven't noticed already for this one, we had to sacrifice ourselves and had to go to the medium tires all the way to the soft tires to the end of this one. And Crossy, and again, you'll notice already on the mini-map already, has just dived down the inside on Badass into turn 1, and that was a lovely move using the DRS overtake mode, and I think that was a rich film mix. I'm not so sure, because it's just the reason of how fast you were on those tires. And Crossy on the other hand just runs a completely wide. That almost lost the position to Badass. That one, that was close, that one. And the Williams driver is about to pull away against the super soft drivers of Badass and of course Zeb, because we're about to pull away against the Red Bull driver. That's because the super softs won't last long. They'll just lasted about 5 or 6 laps. That was the problem for this one. If you're driving on the super soft, lucky for everyone else already who just started on the soft / mediums, they will go for a 1-stop. If not, they will go for if not, they will have to go for a 2-stop. If they have a front wing damage, that is the problem with that one. So there's no harm's lost that one now. Badass is completely just like chasing after Crossy that one, and there's nothing that Badass can do for this one. He has to dive into the pits for his first stop. Not only for that one, he just noticed already that one, like the 1-stop is pretty much easy for that one. It's like softs to mediums is easy, and also mediums to softs was a bit sacrificed that one. And you notice already in turn 10 we're just running it completely wide that one. Don't know what am I doing with that one, but we're on lap number 6 already. And some of the super soft runners have to come into the pits that one. But you probably noticed one now on the mini map. You know, in qualifying, you know the Team Mercedes are starting on the super softs. They will yet to come in to. They will have to come in to make our first stop. But they have to sacrifice and go for the tire wears, because you probably know Pete and Darren are both started on the super softs. that means you can go everything you want, unless if you got some better tire wears already, then you can come into the pits already. And you can notice already, Pete just made his first stop and just came out on the medium tires, which you could possibly do that. Super softs to mediums is a bit tricky for someone unless if you got some good tire wears. Anyway, that one, we're trying to catch up to Crossy, but it's not enough, that one. But he's way quicker than me. I have no chance for this one now. And a lap later of this one, this is the full senior driver of Smoke. He's
okay,
he just stopped his car for no apparent reason, or he's just like crashed out of the race. He hasn't even retired from the session. There's still 14 drivers already. 14 drivers on the grid. 14 drivers still remains. That one. Only like one of them has to survive it all. That one. But one of them isn't this one, and that is well, Smoke. Someone. And plus Infinite March already. We haven't even mentioned him. That one. He just like I think it would just mention him just like only one on lap 1. That one. And Darren on the other hand, he's just come in for his first stop because you probably know his teammate Pete has just made a stop, but he can't just come in and do the double stat because that's not the way you wanted to score your teams already. And Pete just managed to undercut his teammate Darren. And that was a good one. That one. And the rest of the soft riders already, they have to come in and stop it to the medium tires. There's Contrast, F1 Amazing Hour, and Crossy, who just made their stop already on lap 11 out of 29. If I want to cross the line on lap 12 already, and we're now in third place, and we're trying to catch up to Pure Gold and Plebs, who haven't even made a stop with the soft tires, because you know the soft tires are pretty much like so overpowering that one that you can probably go for it this one to try to set the fast lap. Like for I was going to say for Infinite March that one now. So if you probably noticed already on lap 1, Infinite March has lost his front wing. He just came into the pits on lap 1, changed his front wing, and go to the soft tires, which I think that might be the opposite way for this one now. And now Plebs and Pure Gold have both made their stop already on lap 12. And right now, on lap 13, on the final corner of this one, we completed our first lead lap on F1 tier on the PS4 Oceania. This is actually the first time I've ever done in a lead lap in the F1 tier. In the F1 tier, I haven't even lead a lap. So this is the milestone for me, that one. And now, well, Infinite March has set the fastest lap of the race. And now, way back in the order of that one now, or coming down for that one now to the third sector soon, that one now, F1 Amazing Hour has just passed the Mercedes, and now he's a completely race leader, that one. So I have like no chance already because I haven't even made a stop, which I will have to make a stop on lap 16 or 17 if I want to, unless if I have like a good tyre wear, and I'll just stay out a bit longer of that one. But F1 Amazing Hour, he's on the new tyres, I'm on the old ones, so there's nothing I can do for that one. Nice cough there, Josh. There's nothing I can do. Just gave F1 Amazing Hour a bit overtake that one. It's because he's the faster driver and he's on the new tyres. I'm on the old ones, and that puts me into second place, that one, just behind of those two Mercedes drivers already. And speaking of those two Mercedes, they're right behind me right now, which possibly you can try to overtake me, but how possible if you were the Mercedes drivers who have been held up by the driver like this, a McLaren driver who's just haven't even made a stop and being like a wingman, like Valtteri Bottas, who also been Hamilton's wingman, that one. But I'm not like a wingman itself already. I just had to defend it, that one. And as I just noticed already, they're on the new tyres, but they started on the super softs, which means you can just go to the medium tyres if you want to, that one. But not the way you just go for this one now. And then Darren just passed me around the outside of the final corner, and I was side by side with Pete, and Pete has got a good run. I don't, and we're on the olds, and they're on the new tyres for that one. But there's nothing we can do for that one. We just outmatched him this one, and I had to give them a position for this one because there's no way I can do this one. I just had to slow down, give the position to Pete, and they'll have get a fair fight with those two teammates and so on. So with the Mercedes, they're going to go to the end with those medium tires, because the medium tires can last very long with that one, but not very long with that one, if they want to this one. And we had to come in for our first and only stop, and we had to go to the not mediums, the soft tires, not mediums, but soft tires. As you can see here, exit yellow wool soft tires. It could be mediums already, so when it comes to next year's games, this could be medium tires already. And the white ones is
okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving.
But anyway, we come out of the pits in P9, just behind Badass, who is he's on the soft tires, which yet he has to make a stop. I don't actually get it, but anyway, coming through sector 3, that one, lap after lap, we're just trying to catch up to Badass, that one, who's supposed to be in the Force India, not the Renault, so bear in mind that one, he's in the Force India.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel.
Over the line, Badass has to make his final stop, which means he can go to the soft tires, which possibly you can.
Front is 11.
And now, lap 18,
seconds.
which I'm just going to have to show you the fastest laps on, like, this one. You see, we're on green on the first 2 sectors, and on the final sector, this is the reason.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap for the race.
Lap of the race. A 1 minute 29.943. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong with that one. Correct me if I'm wrong. So bear with me for that one. So anyway, we're just trying to pass. We're just trying to get through them all for that one, and everything is good for that one. I'm trying to catch up to Crossy, who is yet to go for the final one for that one. And F1 Amazing Hour has just stole the fastest lap, which there's nothing I can do because he's the fast driver, and he's also got the medium tires. We're 11.6 already, and to lap 23 we have our first spin, but luckily we haven't even retired from the session. We continued our racing, and it was lucky for us that we are amount to survive it all for that one on lap 23. And there was nothing we can do for that one because we just lost the back end, because the reason for that one, because I hit the curb too hard. Not regularly hard, but too hard. And for about that, I think we can do a pretty good job for that one. But can we just like go back this one in qualifying when I just started P12 on the grid? Can we just like take a moment already? I just
17 laps old.
Move up 4 spots is that one. And now we're up into 8th place already. There's no reason how am I doing well with that one on the race. But not just that, but everyone else has just completely made a mistake or just go for the stop. I have no words, and we're about to start the final lap of the race. Well, Apex Online Racing, does that make me, if I'm starting P12 on the grid all the way to P8, does it mean I could be the driver of the day? Just let me know in the comments down below if I deserve to be a driver of the day, because I think I'm starting P12 all the way to P8 on the grid for this one. F1 Amazing Hour just won the Grand Prix. We come home to finish in P8. And that is lucky for this one because we move up 4 spots in race. And that was lucky for me for that one because I have no idea how did I just like manage to outrun everyone else, but except for the top 7s already. So the top 7s have done a pretty good job for that one. But I'm not the Fernando Alonso guy from Valencia or Kimi Raikkonen from Japan 2005, which is the problem already, that I didn't have a chance already to win the Grand Prix. But the only manners I can get is without getting me a penalty. I was the driver who did not get a penalty. Some drivers aren't got penalties, but some of them do got penalties due to the massive problems already. So F1 Amazing Hour got his 2nd victory in a row for that one, beating 2 Mercedes already of Darren. Plebs on the other hand, he just beats Pete by a margin for that one. Then as I contrast, Pure Gold, Crossy, Yeah, cross seat myself, badass, and something else, which there's Daz. How do I forget about Daz? That one, he was in the top 10. So as you can see here, there's the championship results. That one for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and here's the constructors' standings. Mercedes has moved to the top. That one by 3 points over Alfa Romeo Sauber. Ferrari, on the other hand, got 24 points, with Renault with 19, Haas with 8, because Sir LGB did not this one. McLaren itself got to 8th place already with 4 points. Force India of the drivers already who got 3 points, but Red Bull, on the other hand, they have no points this one. So that is it for the Australian and of course the Bahrain Grand Prix. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe if you're new to my channel. Also, if you're new for this one now, just make sure you just sign up to Apex Online Racing for some fun things already. To join F1 2018 career mode, not career mode, but Apex Online Racing League Racing for the F1 2018 game for this one. We've got some low Oceania drivers already who were participating for this one, but they have to do something for Easter Sunday, which I'm potentially free on the Bahrain Grand Prix, which if you want to join the Apex Online Racing, I'll put the link in the description down below if you want to join in. It's fine for us already because we need to get some more guys already that we could possibly go for that one. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time for the brand new video of some more Apex Online Racing Hype Energy Oceania F2. No, listen. It's not F2. I kept thinking it was F2 for that one. It's F1. Peace, guys. Wait.